There has been a rise in the use of the American flag, but in a different form. This flag I am referring to is devoid of color. That is, it is the American flag that is black and gray or dark gray. Before I continue, as an American that is a constitutional American, the American black flag, from what I can tell, is free speech protected. As a constitutional American, I am not advocating for forced removal of American black flags. However, I am for engaging in free speech, which allows different viewpoints and perspectives, and provides people with new inputs to then choose for themselves. Therefore, I will, via my First Amendment free speech, provide my view as to why I think these American black flags are unhealthy for our nation. My increased focus on the American black flags started with a conversation with someone. It was apparent that for them, if someone burned the American flag, it was seen as a desecration to our nation. Now, in general, I personally see flags as potential problems. In regard to the American flag, people often attach themselves to the flag without taking the time to understand our Constitution. Often people have a sort of mindless attachment to the American flag without any awareness of our constitutional rights. Flags can be easily used to redirect people away from their own self-interest. It often results in blind loyalty that can even be a loyalty directed against our very own Constitution. This happens when people are loyal to the power in government over our Constitution. Therefore, I tend to see people who burn the flag as being desperate people that feel powerless in our country to their perceived infractions. Regardless of the state of my feelings upon hearing or seeing any free speech is important for a free society. Another is the upside-down flag, which is often used to indicate a person's view that our nation is on the wrong track. This does not indicate a call for the eradication of our Constitution. The burning of the American flag requires context. It could be a protest against a policy. If the burning is a statement of getting rid of our Constitution, I would strongly disagree with that position. However, free speech is still protected here. If someone burned the American black flag, for me that is not our flag to start with anyway. It has no statement to our Constitution. Why that is, we will get to soon. As a constitutional American, perhaps the equivalent for me would be for someone to burn a copy of our Constitution. Certainly, that would be perplexing to me, and I would want to know why the person or persons were engaging in this activity. Now, spiritual philosophy is plugged into nature and natural laws. Whether this nature is randomly created or divinely created, well, it really doesn't matter with spiritual philosophy. Our Constitution was an outgrowth of our founding members who had an excellent understanding of natural laws. That makes our Constitution strong. Our Constitution is rooted in the physical world realities for most part. But like everything else, there were some wrong-mindedness in it, and specific items that were relevant then that may not be relevant today. Having said that, it is by far stronger than its few current flaws, especially with the addition of our amendments. My critique given is on our current American Constitution and not on our American history. Let's get started. Our American flag has 3 colors, red, white, and blue. That is our official flag. Anything else is not our flag. Anything else is a change and is immediately disqualified as an official American flag. This disqualification is not my determination, but based upon the standard color reference of America, where the exact colors are recorded. A blue thin line American flag, a purple, brown, green American flag, or any other variations are not American flags. They do not represent our nation's foundational personality, as it changes our foundations without due process. Colors are often associated with empathy. They represent warmth and emotions. So let's take a look at what the red, white, and blue is supposed to mean. The Union Jack is red and white and blue. So there was a predisposition to these colors. However, in the early 1780s, Charles Thomson, Secretary of the Continental Congress, revealed the meaning of the three colors while presenting the official U.S. seal. It went something like this. The red color band symbolized the blood lost by those who have fought to protect our freedom and country. Therefore, the red shows the strength and valor of American patriots, as well as courage, sacrifice, and dedication. The purity of white represents our natural law-based ideas of equality, individuality, and of a nation that stood for justice, our search for peace, and a quest to form a more perfect union. The white further shows that we are independent from other nations and that we stay true to our declared ideals. The white reveals a moral purity in our progress. The blue color reflects the equality of justice for all. It represents our diligence to natural moral law and our grit and backbone to preserve it. Now, according to the Colonial Flag website, the stars represent the following. Quote, "The star is a symbol of the heavens and the divine goal to which man has aspired from time immemorial. The stripe is symbolic of the rays of light emanating from the sun." End of quote. Thus, the stars appear to represent our commitment to create a better and positive country. I should add that the 13 stripes represents the original 13 colonies. Now, I am sure there are many other interpretations, but I don't think they will fall far from this. A few definitions I used here came from the Gettysburg's flag work, USA.gov, and, as already mentioned, the Colonial Flag websites. Now, if the colors of the flag have meaning to our foundational principles, like free speech, right to bear arms, due process, and more, how does the American black flag change this? I would like one to consider that by stripping out colors from our official flag, we may be stripping out our rights as well. This seemingly innocuous move may have more consequences than first perceived. Further, enemies of our nation could take advantage of this movement to stoke and promote American black flags for their nefarious reasons. In that regard, it provides an opportunity for manipulation from foreign forces. How, you may ask? If the colors have significant purpose, then lack of color does as well. First, if we remove the colors, we then are in a state of denial. What are we denying? First, with the red, we are denying the blood and sacrifice of our fallen, our patriots, and our good Americans for one. Second, with white, we deny our constitutional American uniqueness, that is, our right to equality and individuality. It denies our connection to natural law, be it materialism or spirituality. In this regard, it denies our soul being either spiritual or our natural living essence, the spark of life, if you will. It takes life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and plunges it down into darkness. Third, with blue, we deny our strength to work towards peace. And fourth, our stars are now thrown into darkness. Our future is no longer ours, but now a captured force of denial. Perhaps this seems frivolous to many. I don't think it is. In the most benign form, its emergence reflects a disconnection from our nation's ideals. This opens doors to possible manipulation of our country by foreign forces, be they corporate or other foreign states. It also may reflect an actual reality that people subconsciously observe. In its most tepid form, it is a manipulation by outside forces to darken and harden our minds and souls. It could be used to dismantle our country and strip us of our freedoms. Now that I have pointed out what was removed, let's speculate what is then replaced in meaning. Colorlessness, black and grays, are associated with psychopathy and sociopathy. The classic psychological Rorschach test used this black and white aspects in testing for psychopathic or sociopathic personalities. These personalities do not respect others. They view people as objects and can easily inflict tremendous harm to an individual on up to large groups of people and nations. Therefore, when I see an American black flag, I see psychopathy and sociopathy. No empathy, violence, abuse, and authoritarianism. These are not American values. Based on this, I submit to you that the American black flag is a desecration, a manipulation to move you away from your freedom and liberties to an authoritarian state. The darkening of American hearts is useful to those that want to take your sons and daughters and use them in unjust wars. As I said at the beginning, I am acknowledging freedom of speech. I do not support banning American flags that are devoid of color. Rather, that people voice their view on the subject, and my view is as such presented. I think the American black flag is shameful and dangerous to our republic. That is my position. Think about it. I made a very brief and unscientific look into the current military to see if American black flags were used. I could not find any American black flags in use except for one picture that I found during the Iraq War. The American black flag seems to be popular with our nation's public police force, which I find disturbing, and a potential clandestine-like movement towards authoritarianism. Perhaps another video someday. Having said that, certainly we need our police force, and I acknowledge the good they do. A very quick look on the internet suggests that most police officers do not wear any American flag. However, a small percentage does. Here is a picture of a non-official, non-American black flag worn by police officers. No statement or implications are made about these officers' actions or performance. Recently, when returning from a trip, I saw this sticker at a roadside stop. Although, to a point, the official American flag is intentionally degraded a bit, we can view it as an aged official American flag. The one next to it is the thin blue line flag. This flag is presented to support our police officers. At the American Bar Association website, they have outlined the major current responsibilities of the police under Standard 1-2.2. Upon reading, "This is why we are safe," and applying the Standard 1-2.2, it is a reasonable statement from my point of view. The word safe, as stated in relation to the police, is reasonable. However, the American black flag is not a constitutional American flag. It is in minimum controversial, and at the maximum a desecration. If a sociopathic, non-empathetic, and authoritarian display of the non-official American black flag is presented as their core values, this is problematic in my opinion. Like a hammer with no nails, soon everything around them, under certain personality types, could see law-abiding citizens as nails to hit. This American black flag can attract empathy-challenged people. Further, with the outfits of our police officers becoming more and more like combat gear, I suspect crossing into the wrong side of the thin blue line will, if not already, increase with subtle indoctrination. I am not implying any intent. Rather, a lack of understanding that the stripping of the American values by the stripping of the colors have the potential to trigger negative actions without a conscious understanding. Here are some other American black flag variations. In summary, the American black flag sucks away and denies our nation's values. It denies our natural law of freedom, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It allows the rise of indifference, which then gives away actions to sociopathic thinking and external manipulations by domestic and foreign nefarious agents. This concludes my commentary segment. Comment if you wish, but be advised that YouTube seems to have blocked me from seeing my own comments, and at the moment I cannot respond. The best I can tell is that Sir Ela philosophy has been pegged as an unsafe space. Or maybe Apple just sucks. Thank you for watching. If you have subscribed, thank you. If you have not, please do. And remember to hit that like button.